Howdy, boys and girls. It's me, Bob Harris, footballdiehards.com, the senior editor there. It's time for your Saturday injury update, preview, review, overview, get you up to speed view thing for week 14. Serious. We mean business now, right? It's playoff time, so these all mean a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and go through them chronologically, as I always do, to help you understand your options and what you have, what you might need to make some contingency plans for. We'll start with the early afternoon kickoffs. Denver Broncos, Trevor Siemian appears to be on track to play, listed as questionable with the foot sprain that sidelined him last week. Paxton Lynch is standing by. The last word on Friday was he was, it was still an issue, but he was moving around well enough. And that's the question, can he protect himself from the pass rush? Broncos aren't pass protecting well as an offensive line, so they'll need him to protect himself. Sounds like he'll be good to go. You'll need to watch. In addition, Justin Forsett could chip in. He was signed this week after Capri Bibbs went on injured reserve with a high ankle sprain, and Devontae Booker not playing all that great. So Forsett knows the offense. He's very familiar. He's played for Gary Kubiak before and been successful. We'll see how that plays out. Not saying to play, not saying to force Forsett into your lineups. Just saying sounds like he'll be ready to contribute to a degree. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Ryan Matthews and Jordan Matthews, knee and ankle respectively, listed as questionable. Both practiced fully, both expected to play. Doug Peterson told media early in the week that Matthews was fully cleared and good to go. So the questionable designation seems like the fact that we don't have a probable anymore. Dorial Green-Beckham seems truly questionable, has an oblique injury, did not practice early in the week, limited late in the week, so you'll need to watch him on the other side of the ball. Jordan Reed listed as questionable. Various reports, local observer Mike Jones from the Washington Post thought he looked like he was dealing with considerable pain as he tried to catch passes in practice on Thursday and Friday, but Reed said he's ready to go. Jay Gruden thinks he's ready to go. We may get some clarity on that today. Keep an eye on the late-breaking updates. If not, it'll be a game-time decision. But sounds like he's leaning towards playing. For the Buffalo Bills, Sammy Watkins listed as questionable with the foot. He'll play. Worked all, sat out Wednesday, worked Thursday, worked Friday. Sounds like they're ready to ramp up his workload a little bit too. Robert Woods looks like he'll return from a 2-week knee injury to be back in the mix. He worked on a limited basis. Also questionable. Charles Clay also questionable with his ongoing knee issue. He's questionable most every week and hasn't really been a great contributor this year. Missed last week due to the birth of his child, by the way. For Pittsburgh, Chris Boswell sounds like he'll be good to go. Although he's listed as questionable, you'll need to watch. It might be a situation just to avoid, right? I mean, a guy going in with an abdominal injury that sidelined him last week. Ooh, someone was sneaking up on me there. Kevin Green, I think. So we got that going. D'Angelo Williams, questionable again, should play again this week. Made his return from knee surgery last week. Had like one carry, right? Darius Hayward-Bay has been ruled out with the foot injury. No timetable for his return. For the Detroit Lions, Theo Riddick with the wrist, Dwayne Washington with the ankle, Marvin Jones with the quad, Eric Ebron with the knee, all listed as questionable. My guess is they'll all play. Washington, looked like it might be kind of bad when it happened last week. Apparently not. He worked all week on a limited basis. Riddick was the only one who missed the day. He missed Wednesday and then came back and practiced on a limited basis the rest of the week. Again, you'll have to watch through the inactive announcements tomorrow to double check them. On the other side of the ball, Josh Bellamy is listed as questionable with the shoulder. Marquise Wilson with the groin. Both worked in practice this week. We'll see what they can do. I mean, they need both of them. Eddie Royals listed as doubtful, so it seems like he will not play in this one. And Matt Barkley, his first road start, needs all the weapons he can get, although I expect a Jordan Howard heavy a game in this one. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chris Ivory's listed as questionable. My co-host on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, Mike Dempsey, also covers the Jaguars. He's at the team facility every day. He does not expect Ivory to play. They promoted Brandon I'll have to look up the name. They promote Brandon Hill, practice squad player, to the active roster. Denard Robinson is ruled out. Alan Hearns is ruled out. Julius Thomas is ruled out. So T.J. Yeldon's the only healthy, lead back. He's not all that. He's got an ankle. He's not on the injury report, but coming off an ankle issue. So that's worth watching as well. Devontae Parker for the Miami Dolphins, listed as questionable. He played through the injury last week. I'd expect him to do the same this week. Kenyon Drake is also listed as questionable. Would expect him to play as well. For the Arizona Cardinals, John Brown listed as questionable. Again, dealing with the leg soreness. It's the illness related to the sickle cell trait. They're trying to manage it. It seems like it's been a limiting factor in games, even when he plays. So that's something to avoid or watch out for. For the Houston Texans, Braxton Miller's been ruled out. Tyler Irvin's been ruled out. Jalen Strong ruled out and then placed on IR today with the ankle injury that sidelined him since last month. So Everyone else is off the injury report. Lamar Miller, Will Fuller, both. Miller limited in practice all week, but still removed from the injury report on Friday. Fuller practiced. Full. For the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, A.J. Green is out. James Wright is out. Good matchup against the Cleveland defense. Might be some snow issues there, so that's something to watch out for. On the other side of the ball, Robert Griffin III returns to the starting lineup for the first time since he was hurt in Week 1. We'll see how that plays out again with the snow. It's a little bit of a weather concern. They're not running the ball well. In the late afternoon kickoffs, the one we're all waiting for, Julio Jones. Will he be active? Will he be a decoy? Will he be ruled out? It'd be nice if they do us a favor and just get it out of the way for us, right? And just declare him inactive. Just a tough situation for fantasy owners. Remember, Matt Ryan and Mohamed Sanu has been ruled out as well. So, the question is, do they activate Jones and use him as a decoy? Some local observers are convinced they will. Remember a couple of years ago against Green Bay, Jones had a huge game despite a hip injury that he was playing through in the second half of that game, and well over 200 yards receiving, etc. So this is up in the air, and it's a late afternoon kickoff. You need to have something ready. Another thing to keep in mind is, they have other weapons there. Matt Ryan has thrown touchdowns to 11 different players this year. They have Austin Hooper and Levine Toilolo at tight end. Taylor Gabriel obviously coming on. Aldrick Robinson, a capable speed threat. Justin Hardy also there. And don't forget the running backs who are, the early season, the fast start early this season, it was all running back driven. And Tevin Coleman certainly capable as a receiver, as is Devonta Freeman, who's kind of been on a little touchdown tear recently. So that's one you're going to have to watch. I would recommend having some other options in place. On the other side of the ball, Benny Cunningham's listed as doubtful. He won't play. Backup running back. Everyone else is good to go. Jared Goff had an illness this week, but off the injury report. Tavon Austin, who missed last week with a chest injury, also off the injury report. For the New Orleans Saints in Tampa Bay, Mark Ingram and Michael Thomas, both listed as questionable. Ingram has toe and knee issues. He missed 1 day of practice limited Wednesday, sat out Thursday, limited Friday. Seems to be trending in the right direction, maybe just a day of maintenance. Thomas was off Wednesday and Thursday and then came back Friday. That's trending in the right direction, a little bit worrisome, but it's a great matchup, so you'll need to watch those inactive announcements for the late afternoon kickoffs on Sunday. On the other side of the ball, Adam Humphries has been ruled out with a concussion. Charles Sims was activated today, just a short time ago. Maybe he plays a role as receiver. There's been talk that Jacquizz Rodgers has earned a greater role, so they could have 3 backs all contributing. Remember, Sims could line up in the slot or out wide. I mean, he's capable receiver, as is Rodgers. Doug Martin's kind of, laid an egg since his return from the hamstring injury, and they maybe are starting to think Jacquizz Rodgers is a more explosive threat. We'll see if Sims has been practicing for 2 weeks, so. And Dirk Cutter, the coach there, said he's looking reasonably good. In addition, Dante Dye and Josh Huff are also about the practice squad. Remember, they lost Cecil Shorts last week to a knee injury. Humphrey's out, so they needed some help there. For the New York Jets, Jalen Marshall's been ruled out. Maybe Brandon Marshall returns some punts. Everyone's good for San Francisco. The Sunday night game, Dwayne Harris, return man receiver, plays a little bit of a role in offense on occasion. Listed as questionable. His status is uncertain. They activated Shane Vereen this morning officially and expect him to contribute. He's been practicing for 2 weeks as well. Hasn't played since week 3 with his triceps injury coming off IR. Ben McAdoo said he will have a role, so we'll see what that is. Giants not running the ball well, right? So he's a very good receiver as well. Monday night, Martellus Bennett likely to be listed as questionable, likely to play. Danny Amendola seems like he won't play, as a high ankle sprain. They signed Griff Whalen this week to add a little depth to the receiving corps, so expect no Amendola. Everyone else is off the injury report. Tom Brady's off, Julian Edelman's off, and Chris Hogan is off. So there you have it. That's this week's injury wrap-up. Hit the site, check out all the great columns we have up there, and watch the late-breaking updates for any news of interest. Obviously, I'll have everything leading up to kickoff, each round of kickoffs tomorrow, so you'll know all the inactives. And good luck. I hope you bring home some money or some trophies or move forward in your playoffs. Later.